Well, good morning, my theater nerd friends. This is a different time of day for us to be coming to each other, but I have something special to share with you today. I wanted to make an announcement for a community conversation. I had the privilege of speaking with Scott Devine and Liz Baxmeyer, who are helping put on a gala for Placer Community Theater. They have been doing great things in their local area. Community theater is amazing. And they wanted to come and share with you this information about their fundraiser. It's the end of the year, and everyone, including Sarda, is fundraising right now. So if you love community theater, if you are as big a theater nerd as some of myself and my friends are, you want to maybe get your tickets for this. This is going to be wonderful. It's a great thing to do during the holiday season. You'll get to hear some very special presentations of classic holiday stories, music, all sorts of entertainment. And I hear tell there might be some silent auction happening there too. So let me change screens and I'll share with you our interview with Scott Devine and Liz Baxmeyer from Placer Community Theater Company. Be right back. Welcome, everyone, to this issue of Community Conversations. We are privileged today to be sharing our community conversation with Scott Devine and Liz Baxmeyer. They've got something very special coming up pretty soon. In their world, they've got a gala event that's going to be happening with Placer Community Theater Company, celebrating the season. Of course, our season is coming up on us where a lot of different holidays are being celebrated. But I want to have them talk to us about who they are, what's going on, how they've gotten involved with Placer Community Theater, and tell you all a little bit about why you should come and support this wonderful event. It's going to be happening on December 21st. So please welcome Liz Baxmeyer and Scott Devine. Scott says Scott iPhone Scott, but it's really Scott Devine. We know who he is. So welcome both of you guys, and I would ask each of you to give us a little bit of background about yourself. Scott, I have met you before, but Liz, this is my first time meeting you, so why don't you go first?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Liz Baxmeyer, and I'm a musician, and I've been involved with theater in general for um, a little over 10, 12 years, mainly in the Bay Area and doing sound design and sometimes live music and composition for different theater productions. And this is the second production I'm working on through Placer Community Theater. I did some sound for Barefoot in the Park a few years ago, and so I'm really delighted to be back playing some harp and in a different role this time, which is something I've missed doing. I'm a folk harpist primarily and a folk musician, though I am classically trained. And yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this really awesome variety show with lots of different stories and live song performances as well.
Oh, marvelous, marvelous. And there's part of my heart that's very envious because when I did start playing music in way back in the dark ages of high school, harp was my first choice, but they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
one.
It's lovely.
So, but I love that you're lending that to the performances there. And then Scott, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and talk about what you'll be doing for this wonderful, wonderful event.
Hi, I'm Scott Devine. I'm a local community theater actor. I was asked to be a part of this by our director, Yola Ryder, and I'll be reading a Dylan Thomas short story, A Child's Christmas in Wales.
Oh, I've heard that one. It's lovely. Yes. Oh, excellent. So it sounds like from what you two are sharing, there's going to be a number of different bits to this presentation that's going to be happening. So we've got music, we've got stories. What else is part of this production this on this evening? What else should people expect to see when they get their tickets? Got to get them to get their tickets.
There are various different components to it. So yeah, there's the Child's Christmas in Wales, There is a visit from Saint Nicholas and a reading of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," that kind of classic, and then a reading of a performance of "The Gift of the Magi" as well. And in between, we're going to have some musical performances by George Weiss and Rufina James, who are cellist and soprano with Orban Symphony. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a, I don't know when this originated, but kind of an old-fashioned kind of Christmas variety production with a lot of very heartwarming elements.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And where can people get their tickets for this?
There are a couple different places. There's the placercommunitytheatre.org website. That's placercommunitytheatre.org. And it's also available through Eventbrite.
Okay. Okay. And the date I mentioned earlier is December 21st. What time in the evening does this kick off?
So I believe is it 7:30 and doors open at 6:30.
Okay. Okay. And I think the flyer said that there'd be like prizes and things like that too. Is something else going on that evening?
Yes, that's the component that we haven't mentioned yet. There's a silent auction. So
Ah,
there's a little time, I'm guessing the time before the performance starts will be available for people to walk around and check out the silent auction with various donations from community businesses and artisans.
awesome. Awesome. And then for Scott, clearly this is a fundraiser for Placer Community Theater Company. Why do you involve yourself in community theater? What's the allure?
Well, I'm now a retired prosecutor, but I was a prosecutor, and I started doing community theater acting in around '97, and it was a form of therapy in a way, but it was actually being a trial attorney and being an actor or a director is very similar. So it probably was just a little bit of the same thing that drew me into being a trial attorney, as well as just whatever moves people to want to pretend to be other people. I've got that. I've got that issue.
Oh, I wouldn't call it an issue. I understand completely. Every now and again, I wander out onto a stage myself. So I get it. I absolutely get it. And with a background in teaching, which is what I do, yeah, when you're performing in front of people, which is what we do, you want to do that. So this event for Placer Community Theater Company, is this something they do each year?
A good question. I think they do some kind of fundraising event. Sometimes it's a play, I think, that stretches over a couple of weekends, I believe. I'm not as familiar with kind of the format, but I think one of those nights is usually framed as a fundraiser, I believe.
I see. And Liz, you had said you have done things with the theater company before,
Mhm.
but Scott, is this your first time working with Placer Community Theater?
Yes, it is. I saw one of their shows with some of my acting friends, and I auditioned. Wasn't able to be involved, but that's how I first met Yola. Although I think we probably met in passing at various times in various theater events, and so she remembered me and asked me to be involved, and I was happy and honored to accept.
Oh, wonderful. And can either one of you talk about the goals for this fundraiser? I know, as most of our friends who are community theater nerds, like the rest of us know, that community theater always has sort of a razor thin margin. Is this to help next year's season? Is this, to find a place? Is it earmarked, or is this in general just fundraising for Placer Community Theater so they can continue their great work?
I believe it's general fundraising. But my experience with theater companies, it's also to help fund the next season and so that you can kind of license the plays that you want to do and facilitate those performances. So it's definitely going to kind of fueling, the local creativity and all the things that kind of make that enriching for the community.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today for this community conversation. We're going to air this a few different times, and what I have to say to you folks who are out there watching is you should probably get your tickets That was placercommunitytheater.org that you need to go to, or it's available on Eventbrite. Get your tickets soon. December 21st, they're having a wonderful holiday gala. You'll be able to see Liz. You'll be able to hear her play the harp. You'll be able to hear Scott as he shares A Child's Christmas in Wales. I've heard this before, and it's such a good story. I'm so excited for both of you. I wish I were going to be around to see it, but break legs. I know you'll be wonderful. And thank you all for showing up and sharing this moment of community theater in a conversation with us. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again in the new year, which is coming upon us quickly, right? All right, Scott, Liz, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for joining us for this community conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right. That was our community conversation with Liz and Scott. They are delightful to talk to. And here's the information for the event. Placer Community Theater is presenting. It's celebrating the seasons. It's a holiday gala and fundraiser Saturday, December 21st. That's the 21st. It's coming up really quickly. I can't believe how fast this month is going on. So they're going to have short stories and poems and live music. There'll be a silent auction. There's going to be some finger foods and desserts and wine and beer available. It's at the General Gomez Arts Center in Auburn. Doors are going to open at 6:30 and the performances start at 7:30. It's going to be a marvelous evening of entertainment and a benefit to one of our outstanding local community theater companies. Get your tickets now for this gala event because I'm sure they're probably going fast. So you want to make sure you get in there and get your tickets. Thank you to Liz and Scott. Thank you to you all for joining me for this community conversation. And I hope to see you again in the new year. All right. Take care, everyone.